Revelation 13 podcast.
There are points in this world which hold a key to a secret, a key to a mystery, a key to the unknown. Come with us as we unlock the doorways to these strange places.
Hello and welcome to the Revelation 13 podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hopwood. Located in the English county of Wiltshire, north of Salisbury, stands a prehistoric monument comprised of earthworks surrounding a circular grouping of large stones. Many mysteries surround this structure, from who made it, to how it was made, and to what was its function. Modern studies of the site have given us some answers to these questions, but Stonehenge still guards many of its secrets. Archaeologists generally agree that the stone structure was built around 2500 BC, the same approximate time that the pyramids were built. But there is a large variation in the dates that the first stones were erected. Some feel the blue stones may have been set in place as early as 3000 BC, while some feel that the first stones were not erected until 2400 to 2200 BC. From a biblical perspective, these dates leave us wondering if Stonehenge is a pre-flood artifact or was it built shortly after the flood. At present, only 40% of the stones that would have made up the monument exist. Archaeologists believe that Stonehenge was created in several construction phases spanning at least 1500 years. The first phase is thought to have started in 3100 BC. It consisted of a circular ditch and bank, 360 feet in diameter, with an entrance in the northeast and another entrance in the south. The bones of deer and oxen were put in the bottom of the ditch, along with some worked flint tools. The inside edge of the circle contained 56 pits, which may have contained timbers or stones. Phase 2 starts at 3000 BC, when some sort of timbered structure was built in the circle. Evidence of this phase is no longer visible at this time. The site is used for burials of humans. At least 25 of the pits made in the first phase now contain cremation burials, most on the eastern side. Other cremation burials were found in the ditch and throughout the monument. The next building phase starts at 2600 BC. They removed the wood and started using stone. Up to 80 standing stones may have been used. 20 different types of rocks were used in the construction of this phase, the most famous of which is the blue stones. These stones probably came from the Preseli Hills in Wales, which is 160 miles away. There's been a lot of speculation on how these relatively primitive people were able to move these giant 4-ton rocks to the site. Stories and legends from the Middle Ages and later added some colorful stories to explain how the stones came to be there. In the 12th century, Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote in his book Historia Regum Britanniae that Merlin, from King Arthur's legend, had directed the relocation of the Stonehenge monument from where it had originally stood on Mount Kilros in Ireland, having been put there by giants who supposedly brought the stones from Africa. Geoffrey claims that these rocks were healing rocks. They called the stones the giant's dance. After the knights sent to collect the stones couldn't move them, it is said that Merlin, using gear and skill, easily removed the monument and moved them to Britain. A folk tale from around the 17th century tells another story of how the rocks of Stonehenge came to be. It says that the devil bought the stones from a woman in Ireland. He wrapped them up and brought them to the Salisbury Plain. One of these stones fell into the Avon River, and the rest were carried to Salisbury. The devil then cried out, "No one will ever find out how these stones came to be here." A friar replied, "That's what you think," whereupon the devil threw one of the stones at the friar and struck him on the heel. And the stone that struck him stuck in the ground and is still there. These stories show us that they saw the construction of the monument to be nearly impossible for the common person to perform, and that supernatural means must have been used to create it. The stones in Stonehenge were set up in such a manner that the northeast entrance now matched the direction of the midsummer sunrise and midwinter sunset. making the site a sort of calendar. The next phase added another 30 stones to the circle, giving it more of the iconic look that it has today, with stones sitting on top of the circle, connecting the stones together, and the horseshoe formation within the center. These stones weighed between 25 and 50 tons. Carvings of a dagger and 14 axe heads were carved on one of the stones at this time, and as well as 53 other carvings of axe heads on several of the other stones. In 1978, a body with ancient arrowheads was discovered within the ditch around Stonehenge. He was called the Archer, although recent studies have indicated that the arrowheads found with him were used to kill him. Another burial from around this time was found in the area. Also at this time, a timber circle was erected 2 miles away, and an avenue that led from the Avon River to the wood circle. The wood circle was oriented towards the midwinter solstice rising sun. Evidence suggests that the two sites were connected and possibly used in some sort of procession ritual. The last phases of Stonehenge construction lasted from 2280 BC to the 1930 BC. This saw a re-erecting of some of the stones and some rearranging of the circle. The last known working on the site has been dated to 1600 BC. Modern visitors began coming to the site to observe the midsummer sunrise in the 1870s. The first record of the reenacting of Druidic practices occurring on the site was in 1905, when the ancient order of the Druids enacted a ceremony. Since then, the site has become a place of pilgrimage for pagans, Druids, and those who prescribe to the New Age philosophy. Although the site predates the Druidic culture in England, the culture that built the monument left no records, which has led to a lot of speculation as to how it was built and what was its exact function. Some modern theories are just as fanciful as their medieval counterparts. Some believe the monument was created by or with the help of aliens. Also, some believe it could have been a portal to another dimension, something like a stargate, or even a device for communicating with the dead. The certainty of knowing Stonehenge's exact purpose has eluded us, and those who erected it have long since gone, but some reason drove them to create a structure that would last thousands of years and spawn many questions. Maybe someday we'll be able to get answers to them. Off the coast of Bimini in the Bahamas, there lies a structure that some claim is proof of a lost civilization. Referred to as the Bimini Road or the Bimini Wall, this structure lies in 19 feet of water 2 miles off of Bimini's northernmost point. It is composed